the Yankees also got some reinforcements this weekend, swinging 2 deals. Let's go from the less significant one to the more significant one. Amed Rosario, utilityman, going from the Nationals to the Yankees in exchange for Clayton Beeter, a pitcher in AAA who I believe has been working out of the bullpen. He had a little cameo with the Yankees last year. Former top prospect came over to the Yankees in the Joey Gallo deal, has kind of plateaued in the upper minors a little bit. And then a Dominican Summer League outfielder named Brown Martinez. Not Brown, Browm. Brown. Jordan, you live in Cleveland. Are people excited for the Brown this season?
That's all they talk about. It doesn't matter what's going on with the Guardians or the Cavs. It's just Browns all day. Let's talk about Amed Rosario. I like Clayton Beeter, by the way. Good job the Nationals getting a live arm there. But this is pretty simple, right? He is just going to replace Peraza. And I know Peraza has been replaced by Ryan McMahon, but I don't really see a place for Peraza as the bench right-handed infielder with Amed Rosario, who has been doing this exact role now for 5 years pretty well. Am I misreading that at all? Like, I feel like that's kind of the end of Peraza, at least for this year.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah. So now let's get to the other more significant one, which is more significant for a lot of reasons. So yeah, Rosario, like, good. Like, that's a very straightforward fit. He has continued to hit lefties well. The funny one about Rosario is that his defensive metrics this year are horrific. Those have kind of fluctuated over the years for him as he's kind of bounced between positions, but that is relevant to our next trade, which is them getting Ryan McMahon, who is a third baseman and has been in the Rockies organization since we were in high school, right? I mean, he's the same draft year as us, I guess, technically. 2013 draft out of high school in California, has been with the Rockies for over 10 years, and now an extended, just signed a long-term extension with them. He is an interesting player where we have seen, because he has real physical tools, we have seen him look like he's been an all-star, right? But the contact ability has really plummeted in recent years. Of course, the splits at college, the core splits are pretty harsh with him as well. But he is a very, very good defender at third base. He does still have some left-handed power. And again, who cares? He's going to be batting eighth. And he already gave him one big swing this weekend. Like, the bar for him offensively could not be lower, considering what Peraza was giving them.
Yeah.
And I think even with his flaws, he's going to strike out in some big spots, and you're going to be like, oh, why'd they get this guy with all the strikeouts? No. His upside is so much greater than not just Peraza, but honestly, probably a lot of the guys they could have gotten at this deadline. And he's obviously stabilizes them defensively. I think him being on a long-term contract and them kind of committing, like Ryan McMahon's our third baseman, is compelling. I think that is an interesting thing to just think about big picture. But in the short term, it makes a lot of sense.
As far as 30-year-old, 9-year MLB veterans go, who have a 92 career OPS plus, there is a lot of room for improvement here. One, getting out of the Coors effect whirlpool, where you're dealing with different pitch movements home and away. Plus, guess what? Do you folks agree that maybe being on Not the Rockies could be helpful for a player emotionally and developmentally? Like, the Yankees hitting coaches are probably going to help Ryan McMahon. Like, I think that will happen. And so there is offensive potential here. Maybe he doesn't get it, but look, we literally did this with DJ LeMahieu, right? Like, yes, people will remember the end of the LeMahieu era in New York for his inability to touch his toes and looking like a cement cinder block. But he was amazing for the Yankees after he came over from Colorado, in part because he adopted he was in a better environment around smarter coaches, and it was more competitive. And I think something similar could happen with Ryan McMahon. Now, just quickly from the Rockies' perspective, I was shocked that this happened. I may even have said this on the show that, like, I was surprised Ryan McMahon was being considered a trade candidate because history told us that the Rockies are baseball's North Korea. They don't interact with anybody. They just sit on their couch scrolling on their phone. And for them to deal McMahon, I was pretty floored. I think that it is indicative of this season of historic losing being a potential reason for change. Now, I don't think the Rockies are suddenly going to tear it all up, trade everybody away, and become the most analytically inclined front office in the world. But I do think that enduring so many L's has led to a slight change in approach, and I think we see that here with the McMahon trade.
Yeah, and I think right, you really push back on the possibility on the pod, and as you pointed out, like based on history, that was a fair take, because that they needed to prove to us that they were willing to act rationally. This is acting rationally for a team heading for 120 losses. It's trading for two pitching prospects: Griffin Herring, who's having one of the best lefty from LSU drafted recently, who's having one of the best seasons of any minor league pitcher. Josh Gross is another kind of lesser heralded prospect, but still an arm that's had a good season. So again, are those guys going to save the Rockies franchise? Probably not. But also McMahon, because of his contract and because of his flaws, didn't necessarily have massive trade value. So I think that, all things considered, I think getting an arm like Griffin Herring is a good outcome. Do they now have to go develop Griffin Herring into anything of value? Yes, which why would I trust the Rockies can do that? That said, I think it is still a step in the right direction of logic and reasoning for the Colorado Rockies. How many more trades are they actually going to make before the deadline? I guess we will see how dramatic it goes. Now, last thing on the Yankees, they did play baseball this weekend. Yeah.
1 second. Can you imagine being Griffin Herring? You're just enjoying like a spectacular season in one of the most advanced pitching development organizations in baseball. You're getting to live in Beacon, New York, in the Hudson Valley, which over the summer is just a splendid place, like incredible weather, beautiful views. And you get a call, you're like, hey, you're actually on the Rockies now. And you're going to their high A affiliate, which is in Fresno?
Aren't they Northwest League? You're see, this is the thing. This is how little I've thought about the Rockies minor league. Yes, Spokane. Fresno's low A, so
Spokane
he could go to
nice.
Spokane, or
Spokane is nice.
You know what? I actually would guess, and for logistics and convenience sake, keep him in Hartford. Keep him close.
Set him up.
Make him a yard goat. And Griffin Herring, in all likelihood, you will get to the major leagues a lot faster than you would have with the Yankees. So